Back at 5:45, the Smithsonian partnering with Clevelanders to help preserve Black history. This is a 2-year-long effort that's being called the Cleveland Partnership.
Organizers will collect family documents, photos, or other heirlooms that will be preserved and digitized to better help understand histories of Black families in Northeast Ohio.
News 5's Bryn Caswell joins us live from downtown Cleveland with more on how a local church's own preservation efforts helped inspire this initiative. Good morning, Bryn.
Good morning. Yes. So the historians say that Cleveland is so full of Black history, and that's mainly in part due to a large part of the population moving from the South to Cleveland during the Great Migration in the 1940s. But with the digital age we live in today, those memories and those stories are not being passed down. That's why the Smithsonian is coming to Cleveland to help digitize all of that history so it can be passed down to future generations.
It's said, history repeats itself if forgotten.
Sometimes I think in the city of Cleveland, we take our history for granted.
Regina Williams holds many titles as a historian at Western Reserve Historical Society, but her latest role is director of the Smithsonian Cleveland Partnership, a new effort to curate and preserve Black Clevelanders' family histories.
We need hearts and minds. And we need documentary evidence, because without that body of evidence, you really don't have history. Maybe you have hearsay, maybe you have gossip, but when the evidence is there, you can get at something that resembles the truth, or at least present a balance.
As Williams and I talk, we sit in the pews of the first Black church located on Euclid Avenue, Mount Zion Baptist Church. In the 1950s, Euclid Avenue had predominantly white-only churches. You may recognize Mount Zion from its green stones. But 2 years ago, Pastor Brian Cash wanted Cleveland to learn the rich history beyond its stone walls and the people who built the parish into what it is today.
Folks were dying and we weren't getting their stories.
So Cash started the Greenstone Museum. Photos and important news clippings about the church and its conception are displayed throughout the room. But what makes the museum unique are the oral stories of former parishioners. He even turned their stories about their lives, families, and accomplishments into a book called Stories Behind the Stone.
And arrived here in Cleveland fresh off the train from Natchez, Mississippi.
Many of whom he says were a part of the Great Migration out of the South, looking for a new start in the North.
So much of the treasures of history gets buried there, and it gets buried before it gets told. So our goal is to make sure that history, that treasure doesn't continue to go to the cemetery.
And that's exactly what the Smithsonian wants to do with the Cleveland Partnership.
It's families, people who have special documents in their homes. Could be the family Bible, could be photographs, could be birth certificates and death certificates, but things that are special to understanding an individual family's history.
Cash believes Mount Zion Baptist Church's Greenstone Museum may have been the inspiration behind the Smithsonian's new project.
It's significant because so much of African American history in America has been lost.
Cash and Williams say it's now up to the entire Cleveland Black community to continue preservation efforts beyond Euclid Avenue.
We want to make sure that people's histories, families' histories are put in books, digitized online, and has access for generations to come.
Williams says this effort is not possible without volunteers. So there will be an informational Zoom meeting this Saturday at 10 a.m. where people can learn more about next steps and how they can participate. So over the next 2 years, Smithsonian curators will be coming to Cleveland on an appointment basis where they will be helping collectors digitize all of their findings. Tiffany, Mike, Trent, all of this information on how you can get involved can be found on our website, news5cleveland.com.
It's great to see this effort underway because, like you said, we have such great, rich history here in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's
Absolutely.
definitely great.